Console players, you don't matter. Let me explain myself. This video is more about the opinion of console players and why their opinion doesn't matter. Now, just know I played over 16 years of console on a controller, and now I play PC, mouse, and keyboard. So I just want to let you know where I'm coming from, but I will explain myself. So I'm mainly talking about games where there are PC players on mouse and keyboard and console players on controller, but they both play the same game. Sometimes they're joined communities with cross-platform, sometimes they're not. But that's the main talking point of this video. And why? Console players just don't know as much as they think they do. Now, that's not to say that console players don't know a lot about gaming or are not very good at gaming. A lot of console players are way better than me, way better than a lot of PC players that I know. It's not a skill issue thing. We're not talking about that at all. Well, we are a little bit as far as skill goes, but you have to understand, you can't take one sample out of hundreds. You can't be like, well, this console player, this team beat this PC team out of one or maybe a few or maybe a lot of examples. You have to understand there is an enormous amount of people that play these games. So it's hard to just take one little sample out and call it good. So PC players' opinions matter more than console players' opinions. And let me tell you why. Because PC players have also played on console. That's what a lot of console players don't realize. Even myself on console growing up, I thought PC players just started on PC, always mouse and keyboard. And yes, that is true for some, but nowadays, almost every single, I would say 80% or more, probably like 90% of all PC players came from console. Originally, they all grew up playing Ratchet and Clank, Super Mario, what have you, on a controller, and they were in the same spot as you are if you're a console player hearing this right now. Even myself, all the way up until Overwatch 1, I played 2 years of Overwatch 1 on console. That wasn't that long ago. So in my stream, I get a lot of these console players saying I don't really know what it's like for them on Overwatch or what have you game. In reality, I have more playtime on console on that game than I do on mouse and keyboard still. And yeah, I can tell you, it's harder on PC. So we know what it's like as much as you think we don't. But in turn, you all don't know what it's like for us. Let me use this as an analogy. Stay with me here. I'm not good at analogies, okay? So you yourself went to Toyota mechanic school and Honda mechanic school. So you know about both of the engines, how they run, how everything works with them. And your homie only went to Honda mechanic school. And he starts telling you all about why Toyota this and that, why they're bad and why Hondas are better, vice versa, versus he hasn't even gone to school for it. But you have. So your opinion on this matter matters more than his. You know more. And so this applies to a lot of things, like the skill level of the lobbies, how hard it is to rank up, aim assist and controller, how hard it is to aim if you need aim assist versus mouse and keyboard is just easier to aim. All of these things. PC players' opinions matter more because we have done both. We know both. We've tried controller for probably more time than we have on our mouse and keyboard. This is one of the main reasons they won't mix the competitive lobbies in Overwatch. There is no cross-platform mouse and keyboard, controller, PC, console, none of that in Overwatch for this very reason. Not in competitive play anyway. Yes, it is absolutely true that it's easier to aim on the mouse and keyboard than it is on the controller. It's easier to be better mechanically on the mouse and keyboard as well. But what that does is it raises the overall bar of the average player, and someone that's above average is way better than you could ever possibly believe than they would be on console. The average bar of entry is so much higher. The average game is so much harder, and then it just gets harder and harder the higher up you go. Somebody in my chat brought this up the other day. He said that console players are mostly kids and PC players are mostly adults. And I thought about that and I was like, I don't think that's very true. Let me tell you what I really think is going on. I think the average PC player is much more serious about gaming in general. I think the PC players are a lot more serious, at least on that middle average level. On the middle average level of console, I mean, I don't think it's always that serious. It would be nice if a lot of them were, if you're trying to rank up and whatnot, but generally, a lot of people are just playing for fun. They're very young kids, or maybe they're very tired adults after a job, and they just don't take it as serious as someone who purchased $1,000+ gaming computer. Yes, there's always examples where the opposites are true, but I mean generally here, and I think I nailed it right on the head. It's not that they're kids or adults, it's that the PC players just take it a lot more seriously, and that in turn makes the games a lot harder. So yes, it's easier to aim and do mechanics on PC, but that does not mean the games are easier by any means. I've made another video on mouse and keyboard versus controller and aim assist and that whole nonsense. I'm not going to get into it too much on this video. If you want to check it out, it should be on my discussion video playlist on my YouTube channel. One thing I do want to touch on is how console and PC are getting closer and closer together, and I think someday soon, if not already, every lobby should probably be mixed. It shouldn't be what their input is or what they play on. You and I both know there are some controller players that plug their controller into a PC setup, and there are some mouse and keyboard players, believe it or not, that plug their stuff into a console. Not only that, there are some absolutely trash PC setups that don't run any more than 60 FPS. We're talking like a school laptop that they still play Overwatch or whatever. And there are some console players that have the next generation console, a proper monitor, and they're running it at like 4K, 120 hertz. I mean, they're really running it really good, better than a lot of PC players. So I believe it should just all be mixed based on your skill level alone. I really hope we can get to a future where it doesn't matter what you play on, it just matters your game knowledge and how good you are. Thank you so much for listening. If you like my content and you want to watch more of it, I go live almost every single day on TikTok and Twitch. The links are in the description. Have a good rest of your day, and go check out another video now. The algorithm really thinks you'll like one of these.